We've introduced comments into the tool, and when we're talking about comments, think things like Teams or Slack. But the difference is these comments are attached to a specific record within Workbooks. So there's various use cases. On the screen here is a screenshot of a case. And so you might think that somebody working in a support environment might just add comments to a particular case record to give some indication to the support analyst of what the next steps should be. Similarly, on this record, it's an opportunity record, and a sales manager might guide the salesperson on what the next right steps are to progress the deal. In this particular screenshot, there's been a comment made by somebody in pre-sales to let the salesperson know that some action has been taken, and the salesperson has acknowledged that. So why would you use comments? What are the benefits of using them? So quick and easy to add. And as I said, they're attached to a specific record, so you can talk about a particular item within the product rather than stepping out into another tool and it being a bit non-contextual, if you like. As you might expect, you can upload files and you can put emojis in as well, just to bring these things to life a bit more. Comments have been set up to use our notifications functionality. What it means is that if you're writing a comment in Workbooks, you can use the @ symbol and @ another user. They will receive a notification saying, John's made a comment, go and have a look at it. The person receiving that, if they reply, then that is notified to the person who put the first comment in. In addition, you can set Workbooks up that any records that are assigned to you, if someone puts a comment against it, or records that you're watching, you're notified of those as well. And do you know, sometimes, I don't know if you do this, I do this, in things like Teams, I'll think, I know somebody said something to me about a particular topic, but I can't quite remember what they said, and there's a search functionality for that. In a similar way, with comments, you can report on them. So you can go back and say, yeah, somebody sent me some information, can't remember where it was, but you can go and find it. So what I'm going to do is switch into the product to show you this. Yes, so comments in situ, if you like. I've got a shortcut on my desktop here to a case record. We've mocked it up, obviously, and it's a case about somebody saying, could you send me some API documentation? If you look towards the top left-hand side, next to the Save and Close button, there's a couple of speech bubbles. And as I hover over it, hopefully you can see that it says Show the Comments thread. The fact that it's highlighted in orange, that's an indication that there is at least one comment linked to this particular record. And if I click on the bubbles, up comes the comments. You might guess from my reaction there, I hadn't expected them to come up there. Let me just change the view and do exactly that again. It's the same record, it's just a different form layout. This time it has a panel on the right-hand side. Click on the speech bubbles, and now the comments come up on the right. It's entirely up to you where these comments appear, but we tend to feel that they're quite useful shown up there because they stand out a little bit. Hopefully, even at the back there, you can read that what this case says is someone wants some API documentation. I'm logged in as a user called Anthony Khan. If I hover over the image here, I can see that my colleague Jane has put a comment on saying that she's actually working on some new documentation. It'll be ready soon. Great, but I want it now. So if I hover over the burger icon, you can see the emojis. It's fairly intuitive to use, but I can reply to Jane. If I can type. Submit that, and I would go and get on with the rest of my day. I'm not going to sit waiting for a real-time response to that. So there's a variety of different things I might be doing. I'm going to come back to this in a second, but I'm just going to show you that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Notifications popped up because I've got a willing assistant out there in the audience who's pretending to be Jane, who has just replied to me. So I said that comments use our notification functionality, and they do. Here's the reply that Jane's just given me. So I'll open that. You can see that straight away it's opened the comments tab. So there was original comment from a few days ago, There's me asking, yeah, what's going on? And here's Jane's reply. Okay? Does say see attached. For some reason, the file isn't attached. So in real life, I'd say, hang on, you forgot to attach it. But there would normally be a kind of paperclip symbol, and you could download the documentation. Again, I can reply to this thread, or down at the bottom, if I wanted to add a comment that perhaps wasn't for Jane, I could start a new thread communicating with a different colleague. For now, I'll just give the thumbs up. Set my hand-eye coordination is not quite there, too many coffees. There we go. So yes, just to recap on that, if you've got a form layout that has a panel on the left or the right, when you click on the speech bubbles, that's where they'll open. But if your layout is like the one that was open when I first opened this record, it has no panel, then when you click on the speech bubbles, they'll open at the top of the record. And I just wanted to highlight that because if you're using this and see it differently from the way you've seen it today, it's simply because you haven't got a panel. Oh, actually, look, Jane sent me the documentation because she knows she forgot to attach it last time. In terms of who will get these comments, you all will. You'll all have access to these comments. Whether you choose to use them is a different matter. But they're controlled by the usual kind of capabilities of view, modify, create, delete, all of those ones. And those capabilities are going to be added to the everyone group, which means that every user will be able to access them. So let me come out of there. Dismiss my comments. So what's open in the background here, I said that you can report on comments. I've built a report here. It's been set up with criteria on it, so it's only showing comments that I, Anthony Khan, are party to. So you can see there are 3 columns here for, is it because I was mentioned, added in the comment? Is it because it was a record that I'm watching? Or is it because it's a record that was assigned to me? Before we ship with the new release, what we'll do is build out a template report like this within Workbooks so that if any of you want to leverage this kind of report, you'll be able to do so easily. If you notice at the top, I've also put in a filter. So you know when I said I can't remember who did what for me, if I search for API, that's just what I've been talking to Jane about, I can filter down to the relevant comments. And I've built this in such a way as we can see which record it was linked to, or I can just click on that comment. Here it is. And if I click on the button at the top, it opens, in effect, the parent record against which the comment was logged. So hopefully you're going to find those really useful. They're a great collaborative, informal, sort of collaborative way to work and to share information on records within Workbooks.